Nancy Grace is busier than ever on TV and radio. She also has a new book about fighting back against crime. Earlier, I spoke with Nancy about cases that have captured the nation's attention, like Breonna Taylor. That's in today's Chatting with the Stars. Welcome, Nancy Grace, to Daily Blast Live. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Your new book, titled Don't Be a Victim, is a call to action for people to take protection into their own hands. And in it, you write, crime is evolving, and we have to evolve along with it. Talk to me about what that means. How is crime evolving?
Well, it really is. It took me 2 years to research and write Don't Be a Victim. All my proceeds, 100%, going to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I started writing this book, as I said, 2 years ago, and it's based on every case I ever investigated, personally took to trial, or covered. Not just a retelling of the stories, but to cull from them what, if anything, we can learn. And it's not meant to scare anyone. It is meant to empower the readers at a time where so many of us are feeling helpless, like there's nothing we can do to affect change around us. That's not true. There are ways to fight back against crime.
I totally agree with you, but let me talk to you about when the crime is committed by law enforcement, okay? We're gonna get into this Breonna Taylor situation. After the ruling in the case, in the grand jury case, where only one officer was indicted for wanton endangerment. Nancy, there was a lot of public outrage and pain from people who felt like victims and people who believe the grand jury didn't go far enough or had enough information. You have been in front of grand juries. Walk the DBL Nation and me through that and how you think that decision was made. It's a very pro-prosecutor situation. There's not even really a defense attorney there, am I right?
Well, of course there's not a defense attorney there because this is not a petit jury, which is a jury of 12, or in some jurisdictions 6. This is a grand jury because the size is grand. It's 30 to 40 or more people taken from the voter registration. So what they do is very simply determine, is there enough evidence to bring a charge to send to a petite or petit jury to determine guilt or innocence. So this is not the time for the defense to be heard. This is a bare bones hearing to say, is there enough evidence to try this case and let a jury decide? Or is there no evidence and we'll no-bill it, we'll kick it out? So don't blame the grand jury right off the bat.
Well, let's talk about that raid. Nancy, there's activists calling for no-knock warrants to be banned, unconstitutional, against the Fourth Amendment, right? And some local lawmakers are trying to make that a reality. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, first of all, they're not unconstitutional. Bam! There, I can drop the knife right there. Imagine this. Let's go with a 5-year-old little girl out on the playground. Mommy goes to the minivan to get a cold water, comes back, baby girl gone. Turns out she has been snatched by a child sex predator, a registered sex offender. He's immediately traced, because of video surveillance there at the playground, to his apartment where he's holed up with a 5-year-old girl. What do you think we should do? Have the cop go to the door and go, hello, we'd like to come in for a cup of tea and talk about this little girl we think you snatched? H-E-double-L, no. You yell police and you bust in there and save the girl. I'm telling you why we cannot do away with no-knock provisions. Now, did the cops in the Breonna Taylor function appropriately? I don't know that, but getting rid of the no-knock is absurd. That's throwing out the baby with the bathwater. So whoever's screaming that needs to go and read the law books and find out why we have no-knock provisions.
We're not done with Nancy Grace yet. Tomorrow, Nancy weighs in on the defund the police movement, plus what Nancy would have done differently in the courtroom in George Floyd's case.
When you commit a crime, whether you're wearing a badge or not, you have a date with Lady Justice and go in front of a jury.
That's tomorrow on DBL.